Hi everyone, welcome back to Cassie Elle Talks. Today we're checking out a 3 to 5 player game in which each player is a different band that is trying to battle to be the best in a game called Battle of the Bands from Original Content London. In Battle of the Bands, each player is attempting to be the first to gain 27 fans, and they do so by going on tour. Players must strategically decide if they want to go on tour alone, if they want to go on tour with their competitors, or if they just want to stay at home and practice. Let's go see if this game goes to 11 with Battle of the Bands. Alright everybody, welcome to Battle of the Bands. In Battle of the Bands, players are attempting to be the first band to gain 27 fans. The way players gain fans is by going on tour. The bigger the tour, the more fans you will gain. When a player goes on tour, they will play cards in these different rows called tour levels. Yes, the board is actually a t-shirt. It's very thematic and unique. It's actually what grabbed my attention first when I first heard about the game, so I thought that was a really cool thing that they have in the game. Anyway, so these rows are called the tour levels. Players, when they're going on tour, are going to start from the bottom and work their way up, and higher level tours are going to give more rewards. On a player's turn, they're going to get the option to either draw a card and add it to their hand, or they can place cards on this board here. If a player adds a card to their hand, they are doing the action of staying at home and practicing. If they decide to play cards on the board, they are doing the action of going on tour. To go on tour, a player must already have enough cards in their hand to fill the desired level that they're trying to go on tour for. Or instead, if they don't or they choose not to fill the row with all of their cards, they can go on tour with their opponents. If a player goes on tour alone, they get all of the rewards, and rewards in the game are called spoils. If a player goes on tour with their opponents, opponents will help by filling the rows, but the active player will have to share the spoils with their opponents. The spoils earned when going on tour depend on the location a card is placed in, as well as the value of the card. If you can see here on the shirt, there is an area that is shaded and then an area that is transparent. When a card is placed in a space that is shaded when they choose the go on tour action, the spoils they earn are going to be career cards. If a card is placed in the transparent area, the spoils they will earn are going to be fan cards. The career cards are made up of 4 colors: red hype cards, yellow chops cards, green riffs cards, and blue gear cards. The cards are going to be numbered either 1 to 4, or they won't have a number on them at all. You can consider those zeros. When going on tour, career cards are placed in the same column of the matching color, so all red hype cards will go in the red hype column, yellow cards go in the yellow chop column, and so on. The number in the corner of the card indicates how many of that spoil you'll earn. So if the red hype card is in the transparent box, and transparent earns fans, this says 3, we would earn 3 fan cards for spoils because of this red hype card. The fan cards come from their own deck and are numbered 1 through 4. Remember, the first player to 27 fans is the winner. In the game, all of the career cards, red, yellow, green, and blue, are shuffled and mixed up to make up the career deck. The career deck is also the deck you draw from when you are choosing to stay at home and practice. There is one other type of card that players have in the game, and they are passion cards. Players are given 2 passion cards in the beginning of the game, and passion cards are considered like wilds. They may be placed in any spot that a career card could be placed in. Once a player uses their passion card, they can no longer use it and it is out of the game. Passion cards are kind of like your band's background story, and in the game, players are encouraged to tell a silly story about their character. Donna Madonna set on her journey to be the best musician ever. Alright, so if on a player's turn, they decide to go on tour, and they decide to go on tour with their opponents, after all of the cards have been placed, players will negotiate the pecking order for the spoils. The active player whose turn it is called the tour manager, and they get to pick the first spoil card. But the rest of the cards in the spoils have no order to begin with. Players will negotiate on who selects which spoil card when, and they're also going to negotiate on which card that has been placed that they're going to take back into their hand. When players have agreed upon an order, each player is going to place their badge on the card that they are going to take back into their hand. In the beginning of the game, each player is given a badge, and the badge represents each player as though it was like a meeple or a pawn. Not only do the badges determine which card is taken back into the player's hands, it also determines the order of how the spoils are chosen. The player whose badge is in the red hype column gets to choose from the spoils first after the tour manager, then the player whose badge is in the yellow chops column, and so on. After players pick through the spoils, Players get to put cards back into their hand. The last card remaining is discarded. The active player, who was the tour manager, has to reduce their hand down to 7 if they have more than 7 cards, and they can do that by either discarding career cards, or they can take fan cards out of their hand, put it in front of them, and it now counts as fans for the points and to win the game. Eventually, one player will have enough spoils to have 27 fans, and that player is the winner of Battle of the Bands. So that was Battle of the Bands. The first time I played it, I didn't play optimally. Me and my group ended up just taking cards and choosing to stay at home and practice. Then we would go out on tour alone a lot of the time. So we weren't really growing our hand. So then we played again, and the second time we played a little more optimally. There was more negotiating and stuff. But I think it really depends on what kind of group you have, because my group is more into keeping all of our spoils to ourselves. So we didn't do a lot of negotiating, but I think, I liked playing them either way. So however your group chooses to play it is good, but I thought the most optimal version of playing was if you were to go on tour quite often and with trying to just give up like 1 card or 2. The only thing I wish the game had was a 2-player option, as most of the time I am with just one other person, and it's often hard for me to get a good group of 3 to 4 players together. I'm not sure how often I would find myself playing the game, just because my group is not big on negotiating mechanics. I'm also not a musician, so the theme isn't like a really big deal for me, but if you were a musician, I think that you would really like this game. If you think you'd like Battle of the Bands, it is currently on Kickstarter. You can check out the links for that down below, and if you want to find out more information about the game as well. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of my videos, please like, share, and subscribe, and you can also find me at theindygamereport.com. Thanks for watching. That's Cassie Elle signing out with Battle of the Bands from Original Content London.